Rise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are back. We are back for our Patreon campaign, our monthly series, where we are playing Monty Cook Games, Gods of the Fall. This is a Cypher system setting produced by Monty Cook Games, and we are in our second arc, third arc. We're deep in the arcs, is what I'm saying. 2 or 3, 30 some odd episodes. This is episode 35 called The Heat of Battle. And if you like what we do here and you want to support this channel, the best way to do that is just like these fine folks by going over and joining our Patreon. Link in the Patreon? Well, there are links in the Patreon. Link in the description down below. Click on that. While you're clicking on that, make sure you click on that Discord link as well. Join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. You get all kinds of cool shit down there. You get stories. You get pictures of the food I cook. You get G yelling at you sometimes. It's a great time. It's a great time. You get photos from all over the world. It's a blast. It's a blasty blast in there. And sometimes, if you're lucky enough, you can fly around the world and I will make meatballs for you. That's a real thing that could happen to you. It happened to everyone.
It is a Patreon tier, everybody. But
yeah, there is a secret, a hidden Patreon tier where I make meatballs for you. Everyone here is on that tier.
It's called the sauce tier, not the gravy tier.
Yeah.
It's a trick. Yeah. It's a trick. That being said, let's fucking... the corruption bar. As always, the corruption bar in the bottom right-hand corner. That bar serves 2 purposes. One is when that bar fills, I unleash corruption. And let me remind you, we're currently at war. And 2, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to this channel for all kinds of cool things, like lighting, and fixing this hole in my ceiling that everyone knows about now, making sure that this isn't a curtain anymore and is instead a wall, all kinds of cool, fun things. My mortgage. That being said, previously on The Rise. After a secret respite, Mina marched from the grave of Wexy Jund towards the east gate of Samora with a renewed sense of purpose. His presence causing a stir both inside and out of the wall. The Chryserian forces, seeing Mina's presence as an act of aggression, began mounting their troops for an attack. This was slowed in part due to the discreet actions of Seydlitz. As Antares took to the field to aid Mina, Korax attempted to find Vishaden, making it to his temple in time to watch it change and transform into a sorcerer's tower as Vishaden claimed his godly domain. We left off with Antares and Mina sprinting full force to the northwest of Samora, directly into one of the Chryserian camps. We have the twisting remains of Vishaden's temple, now stories high tower, with him flying above it, sending bolts of lightning, fireballs, etc. All the power of a great bibliomantic sorcerer waging down to protect his city. And we see Faxis Rama in his guard captain uniform, helmed plumage, shouting as he calls directions out for the city guard to mount walls, guard the gates, mount defenses. And we see among the parapets, among the archers, is Seydlitz as well, crossbow out, bolts firing at the speed of light. And we see Korax, who is not here today. We mourn his loss. It's family time for him. That's the loss. He has to spend time with family and can't play games.
Oh God, how awful!
It's a terrible time.
The ultimate corruption bar.
Yeah, that's true. The corruption bar of life. We see Korax is what he would call sprinting, what everyone else might call jogging, or with a soft J perhaps, yogging, as he moves through the city where there are stores, caches of of this liquid that he had conscripted the alchemists to make, this alchemist's fire. He is discussing with these alchemists in hurried tone, pointing, gesticulating wildly at the parapets, at the guards, at any kind of raised platform, and you begin to see out of these warehouses carts begin to move, carrying containers of these alchemical reinforced crystalline jars. These begin to be mounted up towards the walls for the archers to use. And you see, normally the archers have their typical arrows, but they also have these arrows that have like linen wrapped on them. They begin soaking them in that and firing unlit these bandage soaked arrows into the field of battle, seemingly just hitting no one in particular, just aiming for the ground. And this happens in volleys. Seydlitz, you see this as well, and that's where we'll start. We'll start with Seydlitz. This acrid, pungent, nostril-burning liquid. It is green. It's Mountain Dew green as it arrives in these vials, and you begin to see like there's a command from heavily goggled and like leather gauntleted nerds, alchemists that are there, and they're telling the soldiers how to use this, and you see soldiers hesitantly dipping their arrows in. You see it like dripping viscous liquid off as they fire this arrow into the ground, and they begin essentially planting the seeds of this alchemist's fire into the battlefield. What are you doing?
Sailor's just kind of rolling his eyes and just kind of wondering if his inadvertent blessing is actually having any effect on any of this.
As far as you know, it was at the end of the episode. You saw all of their bows sort of light up with that moon glow color as they began to fire more accurately. What they're doing with this liquid, in fact, this might be the first time you've ever seen or even heard of this liquid. They didn't quite give it a name, and you've never seen this used before, and you've lived in the city. This is not something the city produces. This seems to be something completely new.
And Seydlitz is just gonna kind of roll his eyes and think, oh boy, it's one of Korax's crazy schemes.
He is crazy.
I guess observe and see what happens and hope no one kills themselves.
Okay. You're on the walls. Are you doing anything else while you're up there? Are you going anywhere, or are you helping to fire this liquid?
Seydlitz is probably going to step off the walls and head back towards into the city because he wants to go check on the queen, see if she's in a panic or not. Make sure, well, nothing's going into a panic.
Perfect. You easily make your way down through the city. You see more carts of this stuff kind of coming out of these warehouses, headed to all directions of the wall. Whatever this is, they are spreading it around. You make your way through. You see that the majority of Knights of Redemption are in the streets, sort of clearing the streets and getting the denizens of Samora to safe areas. Out of their homes, sort of moving people out of any sort of firing range. You do see far more. It sort of blended in before as there were like people out here and the various like caravan guard headquarters. You do see that there are far more people in these black this black armor with like red accents that these to be the members of the Red Serenity. You also see people in that sort of cloth flowing style sashed that sort of like rounded hat with like the metal point to it, that kind of armor. These to be members of the High Shroud. And you do see people in browns and greens and sort of like almost like barbarian kind of style armor, and you know these to be members of the Vigorous Jackal. This is the most of them you've seen like out in the city, and you can tell that they are all headed in various directions. You can tell that. Let me see here. You can tell that they're headed to the north, east, and west gates. They're all sort of clumping up and moving as a unit. So each one of the generals has taken one of the gates. With it looks like Paolo has taken the east gate, Sinwise has taken the west gate, and Kieran has taken the north gate. So that's the Red Serenity. Red Serenity to the east, which is where Mina and Antares was. The High Shroud to the north, and the Vigorous Jackals to the west. As you run through these crowds, making your way towards the castle, you see the castle is the most reinforced it has ever been. All of the castle guards are present inside and sort of guarding the area. Obviously, you as a general are let in, but you see that the staff that is normally sort of bustling around here is completely gone, and all that remains are a handful of attendants that directly report to the queen, and the entirety of the castle guard is here. They seem to be sectioned most heavily in around the war chamber, the war council. What do you do?
Seydlitz walks up to the center of the map room, puts his hands on a table, and basically asks, anyone willing to give me a report, please?
You see the castle guards part as you sort of walk through, and you see in real time the pieces on the board are moving. And you can see that etched into like that dipped down area that is like the map center, like the battle grid. You see that there are like bibliomantic runes carved in the side of this thing, this being some sort of magical device. You see pieces that represent the various Chryserian troops, like their camps, are moving in real time. You see pieces that represent the High Shroud, the other demigods, the other generals, all moving in real time. So as you sort of walk in and ask for this, the table almost lights up, like it sort of glows as you walk in, and you see the battle map adjusting in real time.
Interesting piece of kit you got here.
The castle guard that's sort of there, you know him to be one of the captains of the guard. He walks out and says, "We're just, excuse me, sir, we're here for the defense of the queen. This is not our operation." And as he says that, the double doors sort of throw open from the queen's throne room as she strides in, two more attendants behind her. As you can see, her head sort of swivels back and forth, snake-like, as she glides into the room. And she says to no one in a loud, like almost hissing kind of sound. She says, "Reports now!" As she walks in, and you see several of the captain of the guards rather snap to attention, but no one speaks. And immediately you begin to see things on this table move and form reports for the queen as she sidles to the opposite end of the table. She walks over, flips open the book that's at the end of it, and it begins writing. Scroll of words begin giving reports. She looks to you and she says, "Where are the others? Why are you here?" And she points to where Antares and Mina are outside of the gate.
I am here to check on your condition, since this kicked off so suddenly thanks to a certain someone's antsiness to get into a fight, pointing at the Mina pin.
Things are fine here. Hargens is taking care of the citizenry. The guards are at the walls. The mercenary generals, they're at their positions, each one guarding one of the cardinal gates. I don't presume to command you, Seydlitz, as I don't presume to command your friends. I have no idea what they're doing. And he points to the Antares and Seydlitz piece that is sprinting away from the city.
I'm not sure what they're doing. Mina's and Terry's are out, or just out there doing something. Korax is messing around with whatever alchemical item he disordered, and Seydlitz just kind of casually picks up his own pen and is like, well, already know where I am.
Yeah, you pick it up out of the representation of the castle, and you just have it in your hand. It's a small, maybe like 2-ounce piece of stone, in the shape of a fox. As you pick this thing up, and she says, "Is there? Everything is fine here in the castle. I have all the defense we can spare. Is there something? Are you better utilized elsewhere?"
I've already destroyed a few trebuchets, but the fact is, yeah, I probably could be better utilized elsewhere.
Here's what I can say: the Cardinal Gates are defended. As soon as Darian has the people well in hand, he is headed to the South Gate. The South Gate is where the bulk of the Chryserian forces are, still plunged in the darkness of Nod. That is likely the most dangerous area.
All right, then I shall head over there. I shall take my leave then. And as he goes to make a small bow and he pockets the pin that was his, he does not want to be tracked.
Interesting. Cool. So you pocket the pin. She flips a page in her book and you see more writing happening. And she does not seem to notice you pocketing that. You head out through the guards, and as you make your way through the city, we will cut across the battlefield. Before you get to the camp, Mina and Antares, you are sprinting at each other's sides towards the northwestern camp. Is there anything you'd like to say before you break the ranks of these Chryserian troops?
Northwestern camp.
I think Mina is cutting less of a direct path, and he's like a kid on at a carnival, and any troop that he sees kind of within enough range, he'll duck off, kill that person, and then duck back to Antares before ducking off again.
Okay. Antares?
Yeah, I think she's just going to cover him for now, and I can't remember his exact wording, but he said something that really pissed her off last time. Something about nobody caring if he lived or died. Does that sound accurate, Snow?
Something along those lines.
I mean, there's probably a lot of things he said that pisses Antares off, but that was probably the most recent.
Today, yeah, the most recent one.
Yeah. Fantastic. So the two of you, one of you out for destruction, the other one covering the other's ass. The two of you sprint across the battlefield. Battlefield being a strong word, as battle just sort of broke out, and the forces are still in the middle of their muster. But you make your way to the northwestern quadrant of this battle. You see a trebuchet loaded as a boulder is sent towards the city from the direction you are running in. And you see battle formations as the fully mustered troops of the Chryserian army are there. You see these... what are they called? You see this monstrous creature. It probably stands maybe 6 feet tall on 4 legs, and astride it, you see a member of the Chryserian forces with like a high, I think it's like a Hessian style helmet. As you see, he has a saber out and is shouting at the troops. The creature it is riding looks like a four-legged, feathered, lupine / vulpine beaked monstrosity that this thing is striding. And Terry's and Mina, if you'd like, you can make me an intellect difficulty 7 check, and Terry's, I'll give you a free asset for this.
Sweet. I'm not putting effort into this. Nope.
Right. Neither one of you know what the fuck that thing is, but it's massive and terrifying. And someone's riding it. So you see rows of Chryserian soldiers. You see rows of Chryserian bowmen, and you see at least one of these creatures here. But you do see several other like raptor-mounted soldiers that sort of have that similar description, riding them, sort of commanding squads or battlements of troops. What are you doing as you charge towards the ranks?
They don't see us?
Oh, no, they see you.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, you're running through an open field.
Yeah, okay. Wasn't sure how well lit we were.
It's daytime. Mina decided to wait until the dawn's light to start
Right.
his shenanigans.
Perfect.
And you're in the daylight side.
Perfect.
Mina doesn't do subtlety or sus, so
That's true.
Yeah. I think as they're charging in, and Terry's comes up next to Mina, and she says in a oddly calm but firm voice, "Tell me right now, is this a suicide mission?"
no, it's not. I'm just doing what needs to be done.
Because if you want to die, you could have just told me that back there. I would have given you a good death.
I have things that need to be done first.
You see that thing? And she points to the weird, huge creature. What's your plan?
If we kill Japheth, this siege is over. There's no other way to stop this siege.
Because despite what you may think, I do not have a death wish. So I just want to make that clear.
You're free to go back.
Yeah, right. And leave you behind to do this all by yourself.
No one else was going to do it. It was up to us. The Queen wasn't going to send anyone out to fight.
I know.
And the Chryserians didn't need to attack. They could just wait us out.
I know. And
Someone needed to do something. And I'm the obvious choice.
right then. What would Wexy think of this decision you've made? She's like sprinting.
Wexy knows that the people that fight for peace hardest aren't going to be the ones that enjoy it.
Because you know,
That's
if you die here today, she's going to kick your ass, right? Wherever she is.
She would, but then she'd probably hug me straight after.
She grins. I hope so, actually.
But
All
we have
right.
someone else to kill first.
And she's going to survey the battlefield as they're approaching. I want to know if I could see any kind of indication of where Jason might be located.
Go ahead and roll me a difficulty. Let's call it difficulty 7. Intellect. Anything perception wise could help you here.
Bold stealth. I don't think my knowledge of reconciliators would come into effect here.
It does not, but I'll keep that in mind.
Okay. And I will spend an effort on this. Ugh. I don't have any edge in this, so it's like failure.
You look around and you don't see any signs or indications that Jason is in the camp that you're charging towards. However, upon scrutiny, you do see that amongst the rank and file, there are 5 Knights of Reconciliation.
Fuck. When she says that out loud. Do I recognize them?
They're helmeted and fully armored.
Okay.
So no.
Okay.
Does that change your course at all, or do you continue straight ahead?
She's gonna point them out to Mina. Got some of my old buddies over there. 5 of them.
Are they in the direction of where I think that conversation was happening that I picked up, that Mina picked up with
Yes.
the madman?
Yes.
He said, good. We can take them out as well.
Okay. Jesus Christ. I shouldn't say Jesus Christ, like by the dragon. Okay. And she's just gonna run with him. She's got his back, so.
Okay. We're gonna enter into some narrative fuckery. As I said before, the rank and file are far beneath your godly abilities, and they are the first several ranks before you get to anyone who could match your strength. So as you guys approach the camp, I turn it over to you, Mina and Antares. How does this happen? Do you approach stealth? I mean, do you try to pincer maneuver? Do you just charge through the lines? How do you make it through?
Assuming that there's going to be some barricades or obvious defenses, Mina will aim for any gap in that defense and head straight for that and try to burst through the ranks.
Okay. You see that, strangely enough, there are no makeshift walls or anything like that. Assuming to the fact that Jason sort of knows, the defensive capabilities of the city, and a circular siege around the city walls is difficult in itself. That they didn't need really defenses like that. So really, it's just troops. So yeah, you have a straight shot to some soldiers.
Yeah, so Mina just charges in, and as soon as he's within range, his spear just lances out and takes out the closest one, before he settles into a stance and waits for Antares to join him.
Okay, Antares?
She's right behind him. Yeah, so I think as soon as he takes the first hit, that's when she will flare out with her sword, and she just starts spinning around as fast as she can, and she's just slicing and dicing essentially as soon as she hits the ranks.
Okay. So we see this whirling, spinning of blades as Antares crashes like waves on a breaker. And we see Mina just lance out with that spear. The first one catches right in the sternum area. You see him clawing at you as he moves forward. as you pull the spear out of this person, you see the commander on this like lupine winged, this feathered figure sort of rear up, and you can hear him bellow some sort of word of command, and these troops surge forward. From behind that guy, you hear a horn, of which you had heard several previously, and this horn is echoed in sequence around the city. Seydlitz, you also hear all of these from within the city as you head back, and you see this force sort of surge forward, and Terry's, you know that the real battle has begun, and all of the other camps are now moving forward into the field. You see the Knights of Reconciliation. You see they are honed in on you, and Terry's. You and Mina. You know that they have the ability to channel energy that messes with divinity. You've seen it happen before, and as soon as you broke the line, they all turn in your direction, and they are pushing their way through the crowd in your direction. You see this before Mina does, for I think obvious reasons. What are the two of you doing as the crowd starts moving against you?
Yeah, as they move towards her, towards them, she's as she's spinning, and she's like taking out like hamstrings and legs, and as they like fall and they're coming down, she's standing back up. Her second attack is like taking off heads, and she sees these tall knights coming towards her, and she will shout over her shoulder to Mina, "Stay away from them. They can target your divinity."
Well, can't they target yours as well?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think I have mine right now. Can you get me over there?
Mina lances out at another troop and he goes, "Okay, up and over." And he kneels down on one, puts his shield on a 45-degree angle, and
she runs and then steps onto the shield and leaps as hard as she can.
Hell yeah. So you
pushes.
you launch Antares over, and you sail over a crowd of surging Chryserians. Who were you aiming for?
The Reconciliators.
All of them. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you sail in the direction of 5 converging reconciliators, aiming for the centermost one where they're going to converge. And how do you land?
I guess she's not going to do a superhero landing. No. Sorry, Nor. But she's flying through there. Her legs are like bicycling, and she like crouches, and she lands and stands up straight in front of like the first guy who's like approaching, and she just does like a swipe and knocks a whole bunch of the cannon fodder troops away, and she just kind of opens her arms and be like, "Brothers!"
Guys, I keep giving her these opportunities to have superhero landings, and she just keeps shitting on them.
I hate the superhero landings, and it's not just because Deadpool said so. It's so impractical.
You attempt to call them brothers, but you can see that they immediately know better.
It's more like a mocking.
Yeah,
a mocking one. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
perfect. You see that they are neither enthralled nor sufficiently mocked in any way, at least as far as you can tell. And you see the first one, the one you landed most closely to, swings up and like sort of almost like backhandedly at you, but you easily dodge out of the way and realize that it wasn't in fact like coming for you. He was just swinging up this massive blade as he arcs it and tries to bring it down towards you. And now I need you to roll for me. I need you to roll a difficulty 7 move, or a difficulty 7 speed defense.
Oh, I'm actually trained in that. Okay. Speed difficulty 7. I will spend effort on that. And do I get an asset for my reconciliator knowledge?
You tell me why, and I'll tell you if it's a yes or a no.
Well, I used to be one of these dudes, more or less. Just more fancier. So unless they've changed their fighting style, I can read them like a book.
I'll take that.
Sweet. Success.
Great. He brings this cleaving strike down on you, and you deftly dodge out of the way. And we cut over to Mina. Mina, you see that Antares leaps off your shield and sort of disappears over the crowd. And you hear the whooshing of a massive blade in her direction. What are you doing?
Mina kind of spins and stabs one of the Chrysaean troops behind him, and twists his spear so it's stuck in there, and he will try to launch that guy over to where Antares is, hoping that this guy at least will do a superhero landing or fall onto a reconciliator.
Okay. Christ.
To be clear, he's aiming at the reconciliator, not me.
Are we clear on that? Gee,
I mean, if he's going to do a superhero landing, then definitely fall on Antares. But if he's just going to fall dead, then
yeah. Roll me a difficulty. Let's say we'll start with a 7. Roll me a difficulty 7 might check to launch someone at a reconciliator. What a time.
No luck.
Okay, so you spear this guy and sort of overhead launch him over like a human catapult in the direction of a reconciliator. And Terry's, as you parry the setup swing and you like dodge underneath the cleaving blow, the space made between you and the reconciliator, you see someone falling out of the sky. And for the briefest of seconds, lands in such a way that both legs are sort of in a strange split, and a hand touches the ground, and then it immediately crumples to the ground dead. Successful superhero landing.
Perfect.
As you take a moment to realize what just happened or to reevaluate your life choices, we will cut back across the battle map here to Seydlitz. Seydlitz, you have a little fox in hand. As you begin to move out of the castle, you hear these horns that sort of go in sequence from the direction that Antares and Mina went, and then just circle counterclockwise around the city. What are you doing?
Those 3 idiots. I guess I'm going to need to go help them, aren't I?
It is a war.
It is. But Seydlitz had some other plans he wanted to do, but I think he's got to put them on hold.
I mean,
war does that.
Mm-hmm. Well, depends on what you wanted to do, I guess.
Seydlitz walks back to the wall to see if he could find where Mina and Antares are.
Here's what I'll say. When you were running towards the city, you saw them running away from the city. So you know the direction you last saw them was headed towards the northwestern side of the battle map.
It might just be easier for you to do what you wanted to do, because it's gonna take you a long time to catch up to us.
Seydlitz, as he heads up it, he's gonna make a detour to the Dreamers Guild.
I don't know.
The people that make the dream dust. I forget who they are.
I don't know that there is a Dreamers Guild in Samora.
Oh, can I give you an XP to make it exist?
There is one in Corso. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, you can give me an XP to make it exist. We'll do a player intrusion. There is a small sect of the Corsoan, the Corsoan? I don't know. The Dreamers Guild of the city of Corso. There's a small subsect in like the alchemy district where you see these green crystal vials coming out of. And as luck would have it, at the cost of an XP, there is still one person left inside this building. You see them like frantically putting scrolls in lockboxes and books as well, and they don't hear you enter as you do so. But you see a small sort of darkly lit like draperies hanging down from the ceiling. There's like a heady kind of smoke that just sort of hangs in the upper area, and you see things that look sort of like hookah scattered around here, and mats for dreaming. But he doesn't notice you. What do you do as you enter?
Seydlitz is just gonna clear his throat and you're like, excuse me.
I'll be right there. I understand we're evacuating the city. I just need to do just one more thing. One more thing, please.
I'm not here for that. This is unofficial business.
Unofficial? But what? You see him like stuff something into a hole, and he turns around and he's covered in dust and like soot. And he looks to you and he says, "At a time like this?"
Seydlitz's nimbus just appears.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I help? How can I help you?
I need a way back. I need two things. I need a way back to the Nod, and I need a way to find the king's castle.
Okay. I'm sorry. There are tinctures and smoke and medicines and herbs that can get you successfully and safely into the dream space of Nod. I don't currently possess any way to pinpoint where you would appear in there. There are ways that you can focus and sort of set your destination. If you had come here a day or two earlier, perhaps there would be more assistance. Or here, I can give you this. And he procures like a small leather like square that you can see has like tied up like twine on the top of it. He says this is a dust that will ensure passage, only dream passage to the Dream King's realm. But after that, you're on your own. And he hands you this pouch.
That's fine. Being the King of Nod seem to be on a talking basis right now, so there's a few questions he has yet to answer me.
What?
Seydlitz takes it in, drops some money on the table for it, and turns around and leaves.
The man you leave behind is entirely dumbfounded and has no idea what just happened or understanding of the things you just said to him. Because no one, as per the Guild of Sleep, no one should be on talking terms with the King of Nod. That man is a bastard man.
He is quite the bastard man, but Seydlitz wants to have a conversation, so he'll find him.
Fair enough.
He can't really. The hunting god can hunt down anything.
That's a solid logic. You exit this shop. Where are you headed?
To the wall to help his erstwhile friends. Now that he's got what he needs.
Great. There's stairs up to the walls are everywhere. They're every like 30 or 40 feet along the wall. You make your way up to the top of the wall, and you can see from this vantage point, as you're on like the easternmost wall. You can see that the forces are all sort of moving, not in tandem, but all sort of moving out in a circle towards the city. And at this point, you can see that at the east gate, on the eastern wall where you are, this is the gate that Mina was standing outside of. You see Paulo Barboa in his black and red. You see his helm with this black helm with this massive red plume coming off of it, and you see like 40 or so of his soldiers, all in similar garb, minus the helm, all with like scimitar. You see several with bows on the field, sort of swinging and spinning. You see people hitting like with the bow as a melee weapon, as they are engaging with these troops. You can see out to the left of where you're facing, in the north, you see lots of explosions, as you can see, I believe it's Kieran. She is to the north. There, the members of the High Shroud are casting spells in the direction of troops, and you can see to the south a trickling of Knights of Redemption have started to take the field south of here. But you see, of the troops that are advancing, the troops that have advanced the least are the ones to the southeast, the ones that you sort of fucked up by dropping the trebuchets and trapping them in tents, and little tricky fox games you played. They're still sort of unfucking themselves, and in the northwest, you see that troop movement has also not really begun to move, and you can see combat sort of happening in that general direction. So what do you do from here?
Seydlitz is going to ask the nearby officer the quick rundown situation, and then once he gets that, he's going to basically climb down the wall the way he usually does to go after Mina and Antares.
Okay. Yeah, you basically get the same sort of report here, that Kieran and the High Shroud are in the north. Paulo Barboa is here in the west. Darren Hargans is to the south. And the fourth person that I can't remember, Sinwise. Sinwise and the members of the Vigorous Jackals are at the western gate. And the last they know, your friends went that way. And they point towards the northwest.
Say it's going to take one last look at Bro Shaden's big magical tower of magicalness and see if he's still launching his spells.
You can see him still in that sort of like it's almost like a magical like warp around him, as his like robes sort of flow, and as you look at him and prepare your climb down, you feel the walls sort of shake, almost as if there's like a localized earthquake. And there's a shudder, and you see several of the bowmen on the wall sort of like topple and have to steady themselves. And you hear the grinding of stone as if the walls are tearing themselves apart. And as you sort of lean over the side, you see that about a foot of stone is peeling itself off the wall every 10 feet or so and forming into a humanoid shape as mounts off the wall, and these stone warriors, defenders of Samora, begin to take the field and form a ring around the city as you begin to climb down. There are human-shaped holes in the wall within the first foot of stone. It doesn't go all the way through. It's like a 3-foot wall, but still. You see that happen.
Seydlitz going to stop and inspect this human-shaped hole. He's just going to be like, I hope he knows not to bring the wall down on accident.
It looks structurally sound, at least with magic. And you see these stone, these like 10-foot tall stone humanoids sort of and take to the field in defense of the city. Where are you headed? Are you headed to the northwest?
Yes, sir. He's going to find his erstwhile companions and maybe try to find styrofoam Korax in the process. That's the new trend. Styrofoam Korax and cardboard Vita.
Perfect. You
I want that to be the thing.
roll me a difficulty, let's call it 7. Roll me a difficulty 7 speed roll. Anything that can make you go faster will help here.
Travel skills, climbing, swimming, and jumping, and balance, I believe, is also a trained skill.
Sure.
I'll roll with. Yeah, just roll that one. That's 2 divine shifts with movement, so that's 5. And that's a 1.
Do you want to spend an XP to make that not happen?
Nope, because I don't have one.
Hot damn.
What were you trying to do?
He wasn't trying to do anything.
Trip and fall on his face.
I asked him to roll.
I think Nick or I think Chris is getting what he's saying. What's happening in chat?
No, I wouldn't be that much of an asshole. That's a whole episode to itself. I know what you're trying to do there.
Well, it's from part of my Discord message from last month.
Yeah. What happens here? Okay, interesting. You begin sprinting as fast as you can in the direction of your friends, and you see something causes you to glance back just for 1 second, and you glance in the direction of where you slept the night before. The area to the southeast where you had laid some traps and cut some wires and sabotaged some trebuchets and all of that good stuff. And you see that those soldiers are mustering. And then you see a massive black shadow, probably 10 feet tall, 15 feet long, huge ursine shadow, just sort of blot out your vision as it swiftly moves through the forested area where they are. Now, this whole area is still shaded by Nod, so it's dark there, but you can see this massive shadowy figure move among those troops, despite the fact that it is dark. Whatever this shadow is producing its own even darker level of darkness. And you hear an earth-shattering roar as this thing just sort of amasses in the area as you sprint towards the northwest. You feel the ground sort of pounding beneath your feet. You feel the wind whipping as you go. And as you look around, you realize that you are, in fact, moving faster than you are typically used to, as if there is some preternatural speed, as if you were on 4 legs instead of 2, and you close the distance in a much faster amount of time. But you are not there yet. So we cut back to Antares and Mina. Antares, you are staring down the barrel of an encroaching 5 Knights of Reconciliation. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think when that corpse lands in front of us, or in between the two of us, like me and the reconciliator, we pause and we look down, and then we look back up at each other, and then Antares grabs the corpse and then like hits him with it, like full on grabs him by like the back of like his armor and just like cudgels him up, and then is like just using him as like like she's shield bashing him with his corpse, and she's just like boom, 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 and she's like surrender now and y'all live, and she's just trying to like force him back.
Yeah, I'll say I'll say no roll needed to corpse.
So I'm
crash
sorry, I'm
someone.
not doing any
Yeah,
damage.
There's
for this.
no
This is
damage
just
happening
for-
here.
Yeah.
You are smashing an armored corpse into an armored hulk of a reconciliator. It's not like staggering him back, but just under the concussive repetition, he does like take like a half step back and then like another half step back as he tries to like gain his bearings.
Yeah. It's more a shock factor.
Yeah,
Than that.
it's at a minimum a confusion factor. And Mina, you hear this shouting, if you just surrender, you'll live! And then followed by the clang, 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 clang of armor. And you can look up and see that Antares is smashing a reconciliator in the chest with a corpse. In fact, the corpse you just threw at her. What are you doing?
Mina just smiles and kind of says classic Antares, and he's going to start to spin, and he is going to use his spear to kick up as much dust and dirt as he can to try to create some camouflage and confusion in the area.
Okay. So you're literally trying to like create like a dust devil, like a little tornado of okay, cool. Easy enough. You can like drag your spear in a circle, and that creates the initial dust, and you just continue kind of whipping that up, and it causes like confusion amongst the troops surrounding you, as they're not sure if like to charge in or what the hell you're doing, but it does provide you with a little bit of cover. What are you trying to do with that cover?
As soon as there's enough, cover and dust that they may be shielding their eyes, or they're trying to look down so they're not blinded.
Sure.
Mina is going to charge through to where Antares is.
Okay, perfect. So you sort of spin this up, and you see a couple of guys in front of you sort of raise their arm over their head, and you know that's your moment. That's their weakest point. And you can charge forward. Are you attacking them as you go, or are you just trying to make it as quickly as possible to Antares?
He's trying to get to Antares as quickly as he can.
Okay. So you sort of like, there's that anime moment where like you spin and you stop and everything kind of slows as the dust is falling, and we see like your back leg kick into the dirt and like the ground goes as you blast forward. And through these troops that sort of part as you make your way to Antares, who is corpse bashing, is what we're going to stick with. You see that the other four are closing ranks towards her, and within moments you make it to her with the final, "You'll live!" You are 5 feet behind her.
Mina just takes up a position behind her with his back to her, and he just says, I thought you would have had this handled by now.
I'm a little outnumbered. And then she will, as she pushes him off, she's going to like throw the dude at him. Not at Mina, at the reconciliator.
Okay, cool. I was like, wow, that's really aggressive.
Take back your corpse.
I sent you back up. Didn't that help?
It's making an impression.
Yeah, I thought you were just real mad at Mina there for a second. You like take that half step back and you sort of throw this at him, and he staggers under the force of having a corpse thrown at him and sort of half catches, half drops, half puts down. 3 halves. And this corpse like slides off of him as the other 4 engage, and you become half surrounded, like a half moon. We'll say centered on Antares and 2 on either side. So you guys kind of turn a little bit to make that half moon compatible by both of you. Antares, roll me a difficulty 4 perception. A difficulty 4 intelligence task. Anything perception based will help you here.
Anything regarding reconciliators?
No.
Okay. Difficulty 4. I will not spend effort. Success!
A success, great.
Yay.
You feel Mina, back to back with you guys rotate. That adrenaline sort of rushes through you, and your vision sort of tunnels into that combat focus where like everything sort of slows down outside the periphery, and sounds sort of get muted, and you can see through the rank of reconciliators, soldiers, and Chryserians behind them that are sort of moving forward, and you see you're fairly certain you see one of them just get like lifted and just sort of tossed. You can hear like this slow as one drops, and something is happening to soldiers behind the reconciliators, on like the edges of your attention, that is causing them to fall, die, be moved around in combat in some capacity. Something is happening in that direction that seems to be killing Chryserians. You're not entirely sure if it's on your side or not, but that is happening. What do you do?
I think she kind of like she'll glance and she'll see it, and now that they're semi surrounded in this crescent of reconciliators, she's going to she like raises her sword, like just takes a defensive stance, and she's like, okay, seriously guys, we used to all get along here. Just turn around and go home. I don't want to kill you.
You see the knights sort of look to the center one, and he nods, and they begin to spread out their semicircle, sort of forming like a wagon wheel around you. And in that moment, because you got a 19, in the gap caused by this, you see what is causing the demise of several Chryserians. There is another fighter on the field. He has like a buttoned at the neck sort of like cloak that as he moves, as this person moves, is like whipping around, concealing one arm almost constantly. Like it whips around him and conceals the other arm. And you see him moving very quickly. And you know that in one hand he holds a dagger. In the other hand he holds, you're not entirely sure if it's like a short sword, a rapier, or something. It seems to like move and change as it does so, and you see him like stab one in the chest and sort of lift it off the ground as he stabs at another one, and whoever this person is seems to be quite adept in the art of murder. And it is violent. There is a like a trench of blood around this person as he is wantonly wading through combat, even more so than this new aggressive Mina. And you see that there is something familiar about this style of combat, and the amount of like almost enjoyment this person takes in this sort of killing. And again, because you got a minor effect here, you hear combat coming from another side of this fight. To your left, we'll say this is off to your right, you hear another set of combat coming off to the right. Coming off to the left, but you don't have time to look at that yet. As we cut to Seydlitz. Seydlitz, what are you doing?
Seydlitz, upon seeing a giant monstrosity shadow, he would honestly probably come to a stop and try to investigate whatever the heck that is.
Roll me a difficulty 7 intelligence,
Okay.
Perception, knowledge of the wild, anything like that would help you.
Identifying or assessing danger.
Yep.
Yay. Hold on, I gotta cancel that roll. Too bad I don't get any divine shifts for this one. The dice hate me, Mike.
Wow, the dice.
Holy shit.
The dice do hate you. So what I'll say is, we're gonna fail forward here, and you're gonna get the knowledge you were looking for as to what this thing is. But other bad things happen. You see, you know what? Let's. What's worse? What's the worst consequence? The worst consequence is to have Matt roll for this. Matt, I need you to roll me a D2. So R/R space D2. On a 1, it goes south. On a 2, it goes east.
Oh,
It went south,
Okay.
like all my rolls.
Cool. You see this thing rear up on its hind legs, and you realize that it's a four-legged creature. It rears up on its hind legs, and this thing is probably an impressive 20 feet tall as it rears up. And you see this thing like bellow out this ancient roar as it claws down and sweeps through, like vivisecting a dozen or so troops. You hear screams of pain, cries as a wave of destruction reeks in this thing. And as this thing roars out, a wave of rot and stench and death and decay just washes over you, almost making you, like, if not for the speed at which you are moving, like the nausea almost overtakes you. And as you glance back, you see this thing just woo, 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 cutting a path towards the south, deeper into the darkness of Nod. And you know that from your trek into the forest, you saw 2 ancient primal beings, the fox and the bear. And that is the bear creature with the skull face surrounded by rot and decay and death in a part of the forest that no creature dared tread. Whatever this thing is, it has been awoken and enraged, and you have no idea for whom or for what it fights for. But it is cutting whole cloth through the Chryserian troops headed towards the southern area of Samora. Do you stop or do you continue?
Seydlitz is going to stop and knock an arrow and try to get its attention.
Interesting. Yeah, you plant your foot and you sort of screech to a halt. I'll let you knock an arrow. It's a difficulty 7. A difficulty 7 attack on this thing. Let's see what happens.
I swear if this is a third one, by the way.
Phew, if this is the third one.
well, you technically rolled a 1 on that.
If it's a third,
well.
That's true, but
yeah,
out of 2,
fair enough.
he only had 2 options there.
Yeah, no, that one doesn't count. The 1 divine shift for the crossbow. Oh, okay, what the heck? Things being weird. All right. There we go.
Okay, cool. So you knock this arrow, you skid to a halt, you quickly knock this bolt, you crank it back, you line up the shot into this bestial shadow, and you fire. It's going to hit the target. What is your intent with this?
I'm trying to funnel its rage back to Seydlitz, and I'm going to try to lure it back into the darkness of the forest.
Interesting. So you're going to stop heading towards your companions and instead, beeline towards that forested area?
Mm-hmm. Seydlitz doesn't want to kill it, but he doesn't want it killing others. Okay.
You get its attention, and it again bellows out this roar, and again that nauseating stench of decay and death it breathes that out as it rears up and another swipe, killing 15 or so more people as it arcs its head towards you, and you see it like boom to the ground, and you see like dust and soldiers and things sort of like lift off the ground as it slams with that amount of power, and you see it bound towards you, as it is running towards you at a concerning speed. If you would like to get away from this thing and attempt to lead it towards the forest, I will need a difficulty 7 speed check. Running
Also,
the fuck away.
I should probably state that my AR, if it does have a damage slider, it did take 10 damage.
It takes some damage. You know that it has. You can assume it has a bunch of armor, but I won't tell you how much damage it actually took right this second. If you're not trying to kill it, but you see it. It does like stick in its body. Among dozens of other arrows that are there. But it is bounding towards you. So difficulty 7 speed check to get the hell out of the way.
2 divine shifts. I actually have a skill called running, I just realized.
Perfect. Perfect.
A rather convenient one.
Again, similar to Mina, you sort of plant that back foot and you sprint in the opposite direction of where you were going. Not quite the opposite direction, but like at an angle off of where you're going, back towards the woods. You see this thing bounding towards you, sort of skids and starts to go sideways, catches itself, and it begins to move towards you, chasing you at great speeds into the forest. At that, we cut back to Mina. You are back to back with Antares. The 5 reconciliators are sort of slowly beginning to like crab step to surround you. What are you doing, Mina?
Mina will choose whichever of the reconciliators is between him and the tent, and he will attack that reconciliator.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say the 4th one in from the left, so the one to the right of the one that was attacking Antares. So it is a difficulty 7 attack for these guys.
I'll make that a 4 with my shifts. That's it. And that's a hit.
Perfect. 15 damage. Several of that is blocked, but it still goes through. Math. Great. So you actually, this is the first time I think you're really hitting on Reconciliator. You described to me how this looks.
So basically, Mina feels Antares back behind him, and he feels her tense for some reason, and he assumes that she's anxious about something, and he takes that as his cue to step in and do some damage, and he launches from Antares straight at the nearest reconciliator and literally plunges his spear at a point where he knows the reconciliator's got his shield below the shield into his thigh.
Hell yeah. There is a cry of pain as he swings up and brings his blade down towards you. I will need a difficulty 7, either speed or might defense. Okay. It cleaves down towards you, dealing 10 points of damage as it crashes this massive blade into you. Enough force to like spin you back, like you pull the spear out of its leg, and he forces you back. You are engaged in combat with this one here. Antares, you still see that that fighting going on, and you can hear more fighting from your left. And also, Mina is engaged with one of the reconciliators. What are you doing on your turn?
Shit. Yeah. The annoying thing is that I cannot do enough damage to even hurt these guys. As well, she's gonna attack the guy that attacked Mina.
Okay.
And as Mina was doing his attack, she's going to motion behind them where that other person was approaching, and she's like, "You might have more than just us to worry about." and then she feels the impact from behind her as Mina gets hit, and as like the reconciliator came down with his follow through, his body's lower, she spins and she's gonna slice back out his head.
Okay. Roll me a difficulty 7 attack on this guy.
Yeah. Can I use might or is this speed?
It's whatever your weapon attack is. Should be in the center of your sheet. Whatever.
Yes, that's might.
I believe it's might because you have a two-handed. You have a sword, right?
Yeah. Sorry, it's 7. You said.
Yep.
Okay. 2 effort. Ooh, success.
Hell yeah.
Only
You
4 damage,
stab
though.
at this guy. It's the same one that was attacking Mina, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You stab into this guy, successfully dealing 1 point of damage. As you do so, just enough to like nick him in the shoulder. And as you do, you can look towards the left and go ahead and roll me a difficulty. What did I say before?
4.
Perception 4. Yeah, great. The same one. Roll me difficulty 4 perception. Intellect. Anything for perceiving will help here.
Success.
Hell yeah. You see a similar scene of a humanoid, probably about 6 foot tall, in brown, black, and gray leathers. You're not really entirely sure. Moving quickly. A different combat style. This person seems to be wielding a scimitar or a short sword, but is far more careful and measured in their movements. You see there's a lot less like flourish and a lot more like care taken in this to kill these people. And as you see this person like spin around and sort of stab someone and they pull the blade, you make eye contact. And there's a wry smile and a wink, and you see Orion is the person to your left, who seems to be aiding in the murder of Chryserians. He notices you and sort of gives a wink, and you see him swing back around, hit someone else, and your eyes sort of cast back to the right-hand side, where you see this other person with 2 blades just sort of like raking through somebody, like a spray of blood sort of goes somewhere. Another blade like goes through their neck. It is a massacre of blood on the other side. The 2 of them contrasting greatly as they...
He's turned on now.
As they... Yeah. Inappropriate.
No one really knows that.
As they fight at your side. Jesus Christ, G.
It's all the violence, okay?
Yeah, no, I get it. You know, we've all been there, I think, right?
Yeah. I hope not.
Christ on a cracker.
Take that information, do with it as you will.
Yeah, perfect. In that moment, one of the other Knights of Reconciliation, you see them take their blade and sort of plant it in the ground. And you see them pull their shield hand over the blade, and the blade and shield glow sort of as one. And I need a difficulty 7. A difficulty 7 speed or might, I think. Might. A might defense roll from each of you.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, difficulty.
Seydlitz from halfway across the battlefield has to make a might defense roll for some reason.
Yeah, right. Just the 2 of you, difficulty 7 might defense roll. I will say, G, before you roll, I'll say knowledge of reconciliators will help here.
Okay. I've been applying my asset. If I'm doing something against them, I've been applying it. Yeah.
Great. So you succeed. You know what's happening as soon as you lock eyes. As soon as you your vision cascades over the two fighting in the background, and you see what's happening with one of these things. You know what it is, and you move. You position yourself in a way that saves your ass.
I'm going to stand in front of Mina. And I don't know if you noticed, I lowered my difficulty because when I see what he's doing, after like Orion winks at her, the blood's like spraying everywhere. The reconciliator takes a knee and his sword glows. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she winks back at Orion, and she will bear down and stand in front of Mina to protect him. And then when whatever he does hits her, her nimbus flares up. And
are you trying to take the hit for Mina?
Because
you succeeded and Mina failed.
Yeah, she will try and take it, but because she also she has her divine shifts in her might defense and her armor, so she's gonna try to take the hit for him.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah. So you step in front of Mina, and you are hit with the full force. So I will say, because you succeeded, but you are taking the fall for Mina, you're still going to get hit with this. God, how do I want to play this? That was a cool moment, but this fucks you.
Yeah.
Okay, here's how we'll play this. You step in front of Mina, and you take full force this blast of this like golden purple energy sort of out of the reconciliator. You take 5 points of damage. It ignores armor. It is intellect damage. Intellect damage. Yeah, 5 points of intellect damage, ignoring armor. And what I'll say. Are you trying to say that your Nimbus flares and your divine shifts return? Is that what we're playing? Yeah. Okay, fantastic. So your Nimbus flares as this thing hits you. Your divine shifts return. This power flows through you, and it cancels out the power of this ability, which would have been to block your divine shifts. So being struck by this, you will lose all your divine shifts for 1 minute. So you do not. This sort of hits. The powers cancel each other out. Your sacrifice cancels out its ability, and your divine shifts return to you as you feel this power cascade around you, dealing that mind damage, but ultimately protecting Mina from this situation. Mina,
and I feel like, I feel like when it hits her and her Nimbus like flares up as it's meant to like wipe out your divine shifts for a time. It's like her Nimbus is like looks like it's like crumbling through like the force of the shockwave, but then it just like it holds steady, and then it glows brighter at the end.
Hell yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Cool. I really dig that. Yeah, you see all of that happen, Mina. You feel this wave of energy sort of wash over you, and you can see out of your periffs as you're focusing on this reconciliator that what is causing the power to cascade around you is the fact that Antares took whatever that blast was full force to the face and has stepped in to protect you from this. Mina, what do you do before we cut to Seydlitz?
Mina just smiles. That smile that starts to get annoying to everyone, and just says, "About time you showed up for this fight."
Perfect.
She steps in a superhero landing.
she like takes it to full force. With that, we cut to Seydlitz. Seydlitz, you are sprinting full tilt towards the forest as this creature of ancient times barrels after you. What are you doing? What is your? I know your intent is to lure it back into the forest, but what's going on here? Feel free to.
Seydlitz is trying to run through the forest as fast as he can, and he's trying to guide it towards where he first saw it initially.
Okay.
And there he's going to, in his attempt, he's either going to try to calm down, or if it forces a fight, he will fight it.
Okay. I will say, because you're the god of the hunt and you've been there once before, you don't need to re-navigate through this forest, right? You know how to get there, especially with the adrenaline pumping. You know how to navigate there. So you move as fast as inhumanly possible towards this forest and immediately sink into the darkness of this forest. And head in the direction of that field of decay where this creature lairs. How are you trying to calm this beast?
Seydlitz hasn't figured that part out yet.
Okay. This thing is, so here's what I'll say. This thing is chasing you. It has entered the forest behind you. You feel, the forest feels different. Before, when you were in the forest, it felt sort of neutral. As this thing like trundles through after you, you feel like the branches are sort of closing in around you. The forest feels dark and vile. You see that there are like bone effigies hanging inside the tree limbs, just sort of around. You see that the barely there game trail that you're on is littered with bone and gore from other creatures, and whatever this creature is behind you is sort of manipulating the forest that you're in. It holds sway over this side of the forest. So you are running through a living environ of this thing's malice. As you go through here. You know where you're going. You're leading it back to its field of decay, but it is gaining on you. So if you don't soothe it somehow, it will attack you. What is Seydlitz's instinct here?
Seydlitz's thoughts are, given the fact he's encountered two ancient creatures, if he can't outrun it, he wonders what would happen if he lured it to the other's territory. He knows that isn't a good idea because they'll probably just fight, but it might be his only chance.
Okay. Do you do that, or do you continue running?
He'll shift directions.
Okay.
And try to find the Kitsune spirit.
Okay, cool. Here's what I want to do. I want a difficulty 7 intelligence roll. Any sort of nature will help you with this.
The only thing I know about nature is having an eye for detail or assessing and following tracks.
I'll take both of those.
Oh, I can only roll one, so eye for detail it is.
What you do is you roll one of them and then add an asset for the other one.
And I'm trained, so.
Okay. You run through the forest, this thing at your heels. It is not exactly in range to attack you, but you still feel the forest has that sense of malice. And now that you are trying to redirect your path towards the Kitsune, you're finding it difficult to find that path, as it were, to re-find that path. So no attack from this thing in this moment, but you are trying to lead it to the other creature. Okay, we will cut back across the battlefield. And Terry's, what are you doing? You're muted.
Sorry. So the guy who tried activating his power, how does he react?
It looks like he hit you. But then you, oh yeah, that's right. So your Nimbus flare too, right? He blasts you forward, and your Nimbus flares, and he stands up, it triumphantly, having blasted that, and then sees your Nimbus there, when he knowingly should not. And he kind of looks to you. You see him look to the others, and they all sort of nod. And you see him reach down and pull out a scroll of paper, and you see this paper is written in that same like purple oh Christ, what are they called?
The mark things.
The things from Corso that I can't think of the name of. That allow you to do they allow you to do illegal shit. And he pulls this thing out and unfurls it, and you immediately it is the wanted poster with your face on it. And you see this thing glow, and all of the writing on it sort of glow gold as it dissipates into like a purple mist and flies off in a different direction, and you see him bolster under that ability, and he charges towards you. You are on a return dead or alive contract, and it is confirmed that it is you. So he charges towards you, difficulty 8, to dodge or block him.
Okay. Yeah, she's going to block, I guess.
So that'd be a might defense.
Actually, she's actually going to use her block ability.
Okay.
You
have a shield?
No, I do not.
Okay.
So I automatically block his first attack.
Oh, great. Yeah, so that's it. That's his only attack. So he clashes down on you. You bring your blade up, block that. It's a magical sort of like ring as that happens.
And then when I'm assuming then that makes him get really close, and she's just gonna say to him, she's gonna say, "Join me, brother. You get freedom. Fight your own battles."
Are you trying to turn him? Are you actually trying to turn him?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Difficulty 10. Difficulty 10 intellect roll.
Crit. The
Knights of Reconciliation have a level 10 for mental influence.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll roll anyway, but I don't have enough edge left to spend any effort. It'll like knock me unconscious.
I know, right?
So
I feel that one.
Do I have any abilities that could help here? All I have is like an asset, but I don't think an asset makes it good enough. But I'll roll anyway. I'll spend one effort. That's all I can afford. Literally. And
man, let's hope I can't keep doing that magical blast thing, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to do a recovery roll, so
Crit.
Oh,
it's still a failure.
Crits don't work that way in this
I
system.
know. I just saw the 20. I was like, yes, and I saw the failure. I'm like, no.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. It fails. He does not fall sway to you. However, as
I did get a major effect,
you still get. You're still going to get a major effect. You failed, but you still get a major effect. What would you like the major effect to be?
He decides that living to fight another day is probably better.
No.
God damn it!
You are outnumbered 5-2. He is confident in their ability to kill you.
Yeah, me too.
What else is going on in this battle that you think would be a major effect that could assist you?
The Orion and his buddy, because you said there was 2 of them, right?
I did say there were 2 of them.
Okay. They draw their attention, so we're not facing 5 of them anymore.
Interesting. Okay, cool. I'll roll with that magical effect, or that major effect. You see you see Orion and this other figure, this cloaked figure, sort of descend in tandem in the direction of this reconciliator, and you see them like coordinated dual attack this reconciliator from behind. They don't exactly draw the attention away, but you definitely see Orion's blade sort of measured stick in between points of armor and into this person's ribs. You see blood pour out, and you see the other person who now you're sure has 2 daggers, sort of like leaps overhead and stabs them both into like the shoulder blades of this reconciliator and just kind of begins like ice picking the back of this reconciliator. Very violent. Blood sprays everywhere again, hitting Orion. They seem to, I guess, have the attention of this reconciliator, but it definitely is not like turning away from the fight. That is the reconciliator's turn. Technically, it charged you. Is there something you want to do in combat, G?
Yeah, I'm gonna use my rapid recovery.
Okay.
Which allows me to take an extra action after my first roll.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my first 10-minute recovery roll takes 1 action, so I'm going to do that to try and get.
You should still have your 1 action one, right?
Yeah, but so technically with rapid recovery, I get 2 1 action thingies.
You can only use 1 of them though. You only get 1 action. Every turn has 1 action, so you can use your 1 action one, and then on the next turn you can use your 10-minute one as 1 action. You can't get two actions in one turn.
Yes, I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Cool. So you can absolutely do that and recover. And then what does Mina do?
Mina is going to attempt to use control the field to put the reconciliator they're finding behind them and creating a gap for them to run through to the tent.
Okay. Remind me, what does control the field do? It just moves them?
Yeah. So whether I hit or not, it puts them in the position I want them to be in.
Okay. Yeah. So then roll to hit. Difficulty 7 for this one. Success. You hit 13 points of damage minus their 3 armor is 10 points of damage. So you stab into this guy a second time and sort of move him with the spear as you pull this thing out, causing a gap wide enough for you to sprint through. And you do so. All right, you're headed directly for the mobile command tent of these guys. Hell yeah. You run through like a field of soldiers. You see the hound, this weird like feathered hound thing, sort of sprints out from the crowd towards Samora, trying to lead as many troops away as it can. You see another of the trebuchet launch a boulder towards the city itself as you cut through a handful of the soldiers, making your way towards this tent. You throw the flap open, and you see a plumed helmet on this table, a Chryserian down, like a handful of medals on its chest, 2 bookish attendants, 2 little Koraxes, undead Koraxes there, and you see a table much like the one that Seydlitz had described when he sort of teleported in, or teleported out. You see maps and scrolls and piles of things, and like markers denoting positions on the maps and all that. And you see a small, silverish pewter gemstone, like a necklace, like a pendant, almost like a brooch, on the table that is sort of pulsing with like a sick green glow. And as you threw the flap open, this person was talking, and the gemstone was responding. As some sort of two-way or multi-way communication device, and you see another device that looks exactly like an item that Antares, at least as far as you know, has. A device that is used for teleportation, or not has, is the same device that Seydlitz used to teleport to safety. This commander seems to have one. but Jaseth is not in this tent.
Mina will do what he does best and attack.
Hell yeah. Go ahead and roll me attack at difficulty 5 for this guy.
Can I move with Mina, or do I have to wait?
You are directly engaged with a reconciliator. He used an ability to move one out of his way. Success, that hits 18. Jesus Christ. 18 damage. Minus their 5 armor is 13 damage.
Wow.
That is that much life. Cool. How do you attack this guy? You basically ran into a tent. There's a table between you and a man on the other side. How are you attacking him?
So Mina bursts into the tent, quickly takes in the situation, and literally sprints for the table, jumps onto the table, and launches himself at this guy, and brings his spear down hard.
Hell yeah. You get it like through his shoulder meat, that little pocket there, and you feel it scrape against his shoulder blade as it pierces through his body. He is still alive, but he is badly wounded.
And as Mina does that, he'll just say, "Pray to the God of redemption for mercy."
Ooh.
Interesting. Good. What a line. What a line there.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. We cut after that amazing line to Seydlitz in a forest of death. Seydlitz, what are you doing? Are you still trying to lead towards the Kitsune?
Seydlitz, depending on how difficult he's finding it, he may just go back to his original plan. He may have to fight this thing.
Either way, it's a difficulty 7. Difficulty 7 to fight, difficulty 7 to locate the other creature.
We're going to try to locate again. This time, I'm basically crossing my fingers because I only have enough points to do one more thing of effort. Basically, if this fails, Seydlitz has to fight. Figures.
Damn.
Okay. You are unable. So the same thing. You're finding it difficult to discern one part of the forest, whatever like emotion or whatever this beast is feeling, whatever this primal spirit is feeling, is overtaking the forest and making it difficult to really like be in any other forest, be any part of this. It seems to have issued control over this entire area. You're not lost, but you're just not finding the way to go. The bear is closing in on you. So I'm going to say difficulty 7, speed defense to try to dodge out of its claws.
2 dimensions, that's a 5. And, hold on. All right. Just seeing if there's anything you can add that might give a bonus.
I mean, you have your divine shifts.
That just reduces it to a 5. I mean, it's just like, do any of my abilities like Stalker go in with like, oh, I'm trained in movement?
I think running could help with that.
Gain an asset for running.
Yeah.
Anything regarding speed?
Yeah.
The dice do not like me today, Mike.
The
dice are plotting my downfall.
Yeah, they for sure are. You're going to take 10 points of might damage. Any armor that you have will block that. In fact, I think you do have armor actually.
The cloak of energy defense only counts for against damages of fire, electric, radiation, and energy forms, basically.
Energy forms, yeah, gotcha. Okay.
I don't think a bear claw counts as energy.
Not that kind of energy, no. So yeah, it slashes at you, dealing 10 points of might damage. As a reminder, G, I believe you have a sword.
Sword of the God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Cypher, but you still have a sword. Cool. Yeah, so you take 10 points of damage. Do you want to attack this thing, or do you want to try to get the fuck out of there?
Seydlitz is going to say basically to her other thing, time to make God of the Hunt means something. I'm going to attack.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, difficulty 7 to attack this bear.
Bullshit. 7, so crossbow is 1 divine shift. Anything assets of speed. Crossbow counts as a speed, right?
Yes, yep, it's a ranged weapon.
Because 2 of my divine shifts go into anything dexterity related, movement, acrobatics, initiative, speed.
Yeah.
So means it's a 4. 3.
Finally.
Yeah, 4 damage. That plus 3 from divine shifts. That's 7.
Hell yeah. 11 points of damage into this thing. You fire a crossbow bolt into this thing, like into its like chest as it's like bearing down on you. You feel it doesn't like it stops moving as yours stopped moving to attack you, but it sinks into its chest and it like bellows this low grumbling roar. And again, you smell that like fetid odor of stink and death. Is there anything else you're doing after you fire this bolt?
Seydlitz is going to make sure he is keeping his distance so he can fire.
Okay. So you sort of step back a little bit away from this bear to continue to be able to fire. Perfect.
Seydlitz is redirecting himself back towards the bear's little encampment.
Okay, so you're going to continue back.
That's where that is where the showdown is going to happen, basically.
I love that. That's awesome. We cut back to Antares. Antares, you see that Mina has left, and you are here alone with Orion and his strange companion. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, and 5,
And 5 reconciliators.
5 reconciliators. We don't want to forget about
that.
Let's not downplay that.
Yeah. What did I just do to those guys?
You stabbed one, I think.
Or tried to at least. Yeah, so they're not all focused on her anymore. The one that the one that she's in front of, that's not the guy who was being pincushioned by the cloaked figure.
The one that is directly in front of you is that one.
Oh, okay. Sweet. So I am going to attack him, but she is gonna say like, don't. She's very much don't make me hurt you, please, brother. It's not worth it. The grass is much greener on this side.
Are you going to Are you attempting to convince?
I'm still Well, I am, but I am attacking him.
Okay.
For flavor, I am still attacking.
Got it.
So is he? This isn't the guy with the indulgence, is it?
It is the guy with the indulgence.
Okay.
All the same one. So he's a difficulty 8.
8. Oh wait, it's lower because I have my thingies. 1 second. 5. Oh Lord, there's so many things to click in here. Effort to damage, because I need that. Success.
Hell yeah. That's 12 points of damage. That's a shitload, dude.
No, 7. 7. My roll was 12.
Oh, sorry, your roll was 12.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Still more than 4. So you deal an additional 4 points of damage to these guys. And you see You see Orion and the other person still like ice picking this guy to death. You see the person ice picking them, like you stab into him, the ice picks continue up towards like the head of the reconciliator, and enough of the stabs happen that it like stumbles and sort of takes a knee at you, and you see Orion's blade through its chest and sort of like out in your direction as he pulls this thing off. And you see this reconciliator collapse to the ground, dead. There are still four more of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Orion looks to you, and he has that same sort of smile, and he says, "Seems like you're still trying to pick a side."
I'm trying to give them the chance to make their own decision. And she's gonna, it's like, I've made my choice, but I'm giving them one.
He looks over to the cloaked person, and then back to you, and he says, "I don't think you've made your choice fully. Either way," and he nods towards one of the other ones.
Interesting. Okay, and she will give him like a fuck you look, and she will move and attack the same guy he's attacking.
Okay. We cut to Mina inside the tent. Mina, what are you doing?
Mina is looking for to see how this guy reacts, whether looks like he's going to surrender or anything. And at the slightest indication that he's not, he's going to stab again.
You see him. There's a moment of. This is your first real time with Chryserians. Like, really, like, you've killed a bunch of them. It's all I can think of is, you ever see the Futurama episode where they have the neutral people with like, "Tell my wife." Okay. Yeah. They very much have that same sort of, everything about them is sort of muted. The Chryserians do everything in excess. Like, they drink to excess because it takes so much for them to like feel any additional thing. So any sort of fear or anything like that sort of comes real slow to them. So like the realization of what's sort of happening, he understands what's happening, but there's no fear of what's going on. And you see him like begin to move his hand, not towards his weapon, but towards the gem that's glowing green. And you know, again, this was some sort of communication device. So he's definitely not trying to surrender to you.
Mina will stab him again and try to, I guess, he'll aim for the arm that's traveling towards that gem.
Okay, go for it. Difficulty 5 to attack this guy.
Go.
Success. 15 points. Oh, sorry, 18 points of damage. Did I read your damage wrong last time?
No, I put effort into damage this time.
Okay.
The last couple of times.
Oh no, you did 18 damage last time as well.
Yeah, I'll put effort into that as well.
I'm just a dummy. So 18 points of damage does change things. That does 15. Okay. Cool. So 18. Oh no, I'm wrong. I can't math. Jesus Christ. Why is my math brain's bad today? Minus.
That's a mood.
Okay. I was right. I did the math right the first time. So you do another 13 points of damage to this guy because of his armor. He is not looking great. You basically like staple his hand to the table, sort of planting it down into the table before it can reach the gem. Is there anything else you do in this moment?
He just looks at him and said, "Wrong choice."
Okay. We cut across the battlefield to Seydlitz.
I'm gonna preface this now, Mike. Seydlitz dies in the next attack outright.
I see that.
Yeah.
Well, you don't. So your damage continues down the track until you're dead.
Well, if it goes 10 damage, it goes 8, and I only have 9 points total.
Between all 3 pools?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what do you want to do?
Permission for a possible cinematic death or triumph.
I mean, sure.
Seydlitz is going to fire his crossbow one last time because he is the god of the hunt. He is hunting this ancient creature that has caused chaos. It is causing an imbalance, basically, is in his eyes.
Okay. So fire your crossbow. It's difficulty 7.
Yes, I'm with Chris. I vote Seydlitz not die.
Of course, everybody votes Seydlitz not die.
Yeah.
Okay. I have 2 edge on speed, and I have 4 speed left. How much effort can I apply to this? Or will I just drain?
How much effort do you have? Do you have 2 effort?
Yeah, I have 2 effort. I have 3 maximum effort with 2 edge. Can I just drain the pool to 0?
You can only do as much effort as you have. Hold on. Let me open your character sheet.
So I think you can spend 1 effort for free.
1 effort's -1, so I could spend 2 effort for what, 3 points? Because I have 2 edge.
You can spend effort up to your tier. So we're tier 2 right now, so you can only spend 2 effort.
Why do I have 3 effort?
Oh, because did you buy extra effort? That's why. So yeah, you can spend 3 effort. Sorry, I didn't realize you.
I know, but if what happens? The effort cost drains the pool is the question.
Then it drains the pool. That's the cost of the resource.
All right. So 3 divine shifts. So 4. Basically, I could just roll this to make it a difficulty 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm putting 1 effort to damage, so that's 10 damage.
Okay, let's see the roll.
Rolled an 8.
He succeeds.
Is it? Oh, is that the last? Oh, that's the last one. For some reason it didn't change on my screen. So you describe what this looks like.
Does it kill it first? Is the question.
It does not kill it. Describe what the shot looks like as it sinks into the beast.
Seydlitz's nimbus seems to converge on the old crossbow from his father, and it fires off a very bright bolt of basically energy, of this divine energy that sinks into the bear's eye. And it looks as if a wolf takes a bite into the bear's face.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. I love that. I will, if I may, add to a little bit. As you do that, moon glow, right? That full moon glow sort of penetrates the darkness of this forest and sort of cascades everything in that white moonlight as it focuses into that bolt and hits, and you see that that lupine take a bite out of the side of this bear. And that's where we end this episode of The Rise. Come back next time to see what the hell happens here. I think that's a perfect cinematic way to end the episode and leave everyone on a very angry cliffhanger. Yeah.
I'm not swearing this time.
That's true.
I narratively declare that Seydlitz collapses.
That's because I didn't cliffhanger you, G. That's the...
Because Seydlitz is not dead yet.
That's true. No, nothing has been confirmed or denied. Cool. That is it for episode 35 of The Rise, called The Heat of Battle. I did not get to utilize what the point of the title was, but we'll see it. We'll see it next time. Will help. Cool.
Thanks to that heater.
Yeah, that heater. Yeah, that's it for this episode. A lot of interesting things happened. I'm interested to see what people's thoughts are on them. So that's it for us. We're gonna get out of here, do our round of introductions, and then we'll do a quick after show for the patrons. So if you guys want access to that, go over and join our Patreon like these fine folks. Go down the link down below. Join us at the $5 tier for access to the Patreon after shows and all the other tiers for other cool stuff. So let's go around, and we'll start with possibly Seydlitz. Matt, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I'm Matt or D on Mike's Discord, and you'll find me in the Patreon game playing currently Seydlitz, or and a Vinny variety characters in the Patreon one shot.
Hell yeah.
Will I be playing Seydlitz next week? Probably. Will he be there for the whole episode? Who knows? Not next week.
See.
Next, I think it's gonna be next game's gonna be in February.
It is going to be in February, yeah. So we shall see what happens. That being said, G, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hi, I'm G, your friendly neighborhood lightning invoker. You can find me in all things, or you can find me wherever you find unMadeGaming, modding or playing, in the one-shots. You'll find me with Chris, who's not here today, in Atari Twilight Age of Always, with Melissa. And you'll find me on the other campaign with Melissa, with Mundus Novus. And you'll find me all in the Discord.
Hell yeah. And last but not least, Norm, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I'm Norma Snow. I'm in the Patreon campaign and one-shots, and you can find me generally in the Discord.
Hell yeah. Again, as always, thank you guys for being here. Join us over on the Patreon. Join us over on the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. But that's it for us. We're going to get out of here, do our Patreon after show. So from all of us to you, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.